devastated last night when two young teenagers were found brutally murdered. Authorities have yet to issue a statement, but our sources tell us that no arrest has been made and the murder could strike again.
Leave the shit.
She's not holding a knife. She's not wearing a mask. But what if I told you that the real villain of the Scream franchise has been right in front of our eyes the whole entire time?
Kudos on being brave enough to drop off the professional map. Any plans on revitalizing your tarnished brand?
Listen, in about 2 seconds, I'm gonna revitalize your face with my tarnished brand. Ooh. I still got it.
That's right, Gale Weathers, ambitious, fearless, and possibly a full-blown psychopath. Welcome back, Popcorn Theorists, for another episode of Popcorn Theory. This is Dave from Nerdbox here, and today we're going to be delving into something new, something we haven't done before, unraveling the psychopathic traits of Gale Weathers, who has always been more than just a nosy reporter. Now, before we begin, don't forget to drop a like on this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Now, for today's episode, we're going to be basing our analysis around the Hare psychopathy checklist, where there are several core traits that define psychopathy. And we're going to be focusing on the 6 most identifiable traits: lack of empathy and remorse, pathological lying, grandiose sense of self-worth, callousness and exploitation, impulsivity and irresponsibility, disregard for social norms. Let's talk about these traits one by one and compare each of them to Gale Weathers' behavior across the entire Scream franchise. From the beginning, Gale has shown a startling lack of genuine empathy. In Scream 1996, she attempts to confront Sidney Prescott shortly after the trauma of her mother's murder. Then she tries to profit from Sidney's pain with a book. Even after being punched, Gale doubles down, revealing that she values the scoop more than the emotional devastation her actions cause. She frames her actions as noble, justice for Cotton Weary, but her true concern is fame and profit.
Hello, Sydney. How are you?
Hey. What do you want, Gale?
Well, I was hoping I might get just a few words with you.
Cotton.
Hi, Sydney.
Here we are at Windsor College, where Sidney Prescott has just been reunited with Cotton Weary for the first time since she wrongly accused him of murdering her mother.
What the hell are you doing?
Even after everything that Sidney has been through, Gale manipulates her into reliving that trauma for a good of a TV moment. So empathy? Not even a whisper of it.
Still mad at me?
You said you wouldn't write a book about what happened. And then you wrote a book about what happened.
Oh, come on. Somebody was gonna write about it. It's what I do.
Gale lies constantly, not just to protect others or herself, but to get ahead.
Right, and it had to be you with all your lies and bullshit theories.
What is your problem?
Dale, I thought we had an official interview. What's going on? She didn't know?
Man, that was cold.
Hey, you need to check your conscience at the door, sweetie.
Me unstable and a born killer.
That's taken out of context. That's literally a quote.
But this constant lying is not to survive, but it's to get what she wants. She manipulates situations, withholds truths, and constructs narratives that benefit her own career.
Gale, you promised me 10 minutes of national
You'll get your
coverage.
10 minutes when I get my goddamn interview.
Gale has an inflated view of herself. She believes that she is the only one that can tell the true story, often positioning herself above the victims. And by Scream 4, her fame has faded, and Gale isn't dealing with it well. She's desperate to insert herself into the murders once again. Not to help, but to be in the spotlight.
Because I wrote the book on this. The Woodsboro Murders by Gale Weathers.
At the end of Scream 5, and despite promising not to write another book, she betrays her promise and defends her choice with ego, not remorse, in the next film. She believes that she deserves to be the center of attention. Even tragedy has to be about her.
Hang on. Are you familiar with the phrase, I wrote the book on this?
Let's talk about Kirby, Jill, and Olivia in Scream 4. Gale doesn't really know them, doesn't care about them, but she's immediately on scene, ready to exploit their tragedy for content. She manipulates a public crime scene for footage yet again. And what kind of person would set up cameras in hopes of there being a murdering spree? Not a reporter, but a predator, a woman who sees death as an opportunity. Psychopaths often take reckless actions without regard for consequences. Gale has shown this repeatedly, charging into active crime scenes, disregarding law enforcement warnings. This isn't bravery, it's recklessness.
Yeah, well, actually, we're here to see Sydney.
Good, Sydney's here. Where's Sydney? She's right there!
She never learns. She never adapts. She chases chaos like a moth to a flame. And these moments aren't brave. They're dangerously impulsive and often endanger others. And as we've seen, Gale often crosses ethical lines, even the legal ones. She invades private spaces, manipulates law enforcement, and disregards boundaries. In Scream, she challenges Sydney despite knowing what she has just been through with the murders happening. And in Scream 4, she ambushes students. These are not acts of determined journalism. They are clear violations of privacy and social codes. And in Scream 6, Gale does the unthinkable. She publishes another book against survivors' wishes. Against the rules of decency, she breaks promises, defies social contracts, and isolates herself with one chilling justification.
What happened? Oh, come on. Somebody was gonna write about it. It's what I do.
I heard you couldn't sell the movie rights.
It's all about true crime limited series these days.
After everything we went through together, what would Dewey think?
That's a low blow.
So was your book.
Now, Gale Weathers is not a monster in a mask, but she might be the most dangerous kind of character in Scream, the one that is hiding in plain sight. When we look at her through the lens of psychopathy, a chilling pattern emerges. She may not be Ghostface, but she has always been willing to step over the bodies to remain center stage. Her charm, her wit, and the occasional assistance to the protagonist shouldn't erase the clear indicators that Gale Weathers fits the psychological profile of a high-functioning psychopath. The real question isn't whether Gale is dangerous, it's how many lives she's destroyed without ever lifting a knife. Think about it. Every Ghostface reads her book. Every killer wants attention, fame, legacy. They all crave what Gale has built. Could she be the one who inspired the Ghostface cult in Scream 6? Could she be the one that's been orchestrating it all, pulling the strings while staying just close enough to claim innocence? She's always there. She always survives, and she always profits. Maybe the true legacy of Scream is Gale Weathers herself. Alright, Popcorn Theorists, don't forget to let me know what you think about this video by dropping it in the comments, and also drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And just let's think about this one a little bit. Gale being the mastermind, whether willingly or unwillingly, in the entire Scream franchise seems like a legit thing. Because as we mentioned here today, every book that she has profited off of has inspired a new set of killers. And not just people seeking revenge against Sidney Prescott, but the entire cult itself, which we know exists out there today. Because we have to think about, where would Mickey be if it wasn't for Gale Weathers? Where would Richie be? Possibly Amber. They may have never picked up the knife. And this is something that we all can debate in the comments. Anyway, until the next episode, see ya.